Let's do it. Going live.
Doing it live. Oh shit. Better get my fucking bowl filled here. Pause.
The pause for sein cause.
Yeah. All right.
I wish I knew more German to make fun of Germans.
On this episode of the Red Eye Report, we talk near-death experiences. I was too lazy to write an intro.
Catch them while you can.
Yeah. So that's the intro.
Wow.
That's worse than an ashtray.
All right.
Way worse than ashtray.
But before we get started, though, we need to have our weekly benefit event for the Dane County Humane Society, Pause for the Cause, where many animals are experiencing near-death experiences as we speak.
Yeah, because Michael Vick brought all the dogs.
It's true.
Oh, there's no near about it. That's a kill shelter.
Drink my water.
God bless all those animals and the poor humans who sacrifice their daily lives to clean up their shit. It's a lot of fucking animals to clean up after.
It is, yes.
So
For days.
I was inspired to talk about this week because my 98-year-old grandmother was God bless her, was recently brought home on hospice, and she's been on hospice. And so it started with the flu. She had a fall, had like a minor heart attack, and then she was unresponsive.
Within like a year or so.
No, this is this past weekend.
Oh, just a whole over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Right. So we brought her home, and she didn't wake up the next day. She was kind of unresponsive, and the hospice nurse came and everything. They did their evaluation, and they're like, okay, well, she's probably, going to pass or whatever. Family was coming to say their goodbyes. Not responsive for 2 days. And then she woke up. And
What?
yeah, she woke up. Another day
late for the prom.
Right. Other day I watched The Voice with her and gave her a root beer float while she was in bed. And this is her state. Now she's 98 years old or whatever, but everybody's just like, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen. The nurse is like,
Does cognizantly she seem the same
Yes.
from before?
Yes. And they're like, we don't know how, with her oxygen levels as low as they were and everything, we don't know how she was able to, mentally still stay with it and whatnot. But yeah, she was having like a phone conversation, full phone conversations and everything. Well, while this was going on, like the night before this happened, she kind of had like these like lucid dreams or whatever, where she was like having a party with like all these people that died.
So she's telling you this after she woke up.
No, she was like, we could hear her like in the room. She's like asking for whiskey and like dancing and having these conversations with these people that had died.
Wow.
And I asked her, I'm like, after she woke up the other day, I'm like, well, do you remember anything from that? And she didn't. She didn't remember anything from that. But it got me thinking about this near-death experience stuff. So there's some, they've been doing research since like the 70s regarding this. And this guy, this Dr. Bruce Grayson out of University of Virginia.
Of course, they need to make it acronym. NDEs.
Yeah, NDEs. And so he's been at this for a long time. And there are kind of these common themes, these things that happen with these near-death experiences. So we've probably heard of this where people don't feel pain or fear while this is going down. Sense of leaving the body. So that's like the out of body experience, you know, where you like float up above your body. We've probably seen that, you know, like if somebody's in like a hospital room or something, they can
Oh, you talking about that Doctor Strange shit?
Where
yeah,
they
see their
like,
see their
people
body.
feel like I look at myself on the bed.
Right. Something interesting that I didn't know was part of this is people saying that they can almost like they can process information like way faster than what they normally could think of it. This is kind of like your life in review type thing where you can see your life flashing before your eyes type thing. There's the being drawn through a tunnel. That's another common theme with like a brilliant light, peace, sense of peace, unlimited knowledge, that type of thing. So there are
And
commonalities.
you forget it when you come back. Son of a bitch.
Well, and some
Had a
people
taste of that
don't,
infinite
though.
knowledge.
It turns out that there are quite a few people, a number of people that don't forget it, that they do remember it. And they're estimating that perhaps like 5% of the world's population has had some sort of a near-death experience, which was way higher than I thought was out
Yeah.
there. So
That's a lot of the motherfuckers around
yeah,
the world.
well, you know, and that's the thing is we all die, right? And a common, maybe we experience more of this because when people go into cardiac arrest, for instance, and they're resuscitated, there's a potential for it to happen in that. So head trauma, or if they have like a heart attack or something like that, and they're able to come back. So this Dr. Grayson, he was talking about like how he got into this. And it started for him when he was working at a facility, and this woman apparently was trying to kill herself, took a bunch of pills, and so he heard this patient got called in, and he was eating spaghetti, and he got a big red splotch on his tie from the spaghetti because he was in a rush.
Slob.
Yeah. So he goes out there, and the woman comes in, and she's completely unconscious. And then he goes and talks to her
She was
friend.
so incensed by his sloppiness. She's, oh.
No, this is the woman that OD'd on the pills. So then he comes in, and you know she's not responsive at all. So he goes to talk to her friend down the hall, and you know they're talking to him. Well, this woman, she regains consciousness like the next day, and he's talking to her, and she describes to him. She's like, "Oh, well, I remember you. You're the guy with the red splotch on the tie." And he goes on, or this woman goes on to describe the conversation that he had with her friend down the hall in great detail. And that really got him on this path of like, well, what the fuck? Like, how is this even possible? We weren't close, you know, I wasn't near proximity where she could overhear what we were talking about. Her eyes weren't open. How could she possibly see this red splotch on his tie? So he's been interviewing and researching these NDEs, these near-death experiences. So in the U.S., an estimated 9 million people have reported having an NDE. That was in 2011. Actually, it was worldwide. It's believed that somewhere between 10 and 20% of people who come close to death report having an NDE. So that's 5% of the population. And it could be underreported too. Like some people, maybe they aren't having a positive experience. Some people have reported, like terrifying experiences.
Nightmare, yeah.
Right. So those people might not be reporting this as well. So what could possibly be going on here? They're not really sure, but one of the things that they're beginning to explore is that our concept is of our brain. Everything's happening in the brain. The mind is, completely connected to the brain. And they're beginning to question whether that concept of the mind actually exists beyond the brain. Not just, maybe it's throughout the body, maybe it's beyond that.
It's called RAM. We are living in a simulation.
If we could be living in a simulation, I don't know, but it is kind of fascinating. And they're not science can't explain it all, right? They actually had this one guy. He was an older guy. I think he was like 82, and he was having seizures, and I think he was going into cardiac arrest. And they had him, because of the seizures, they had these electrodes hooked up to this guy, and they kind of inadvertently captured his mental activity while he was dying. And they found that the wave actually was very similar to when we are recalling memories while this guy was dying. So that's like one piece of evidence, but it's not like maybe they should wire people up or something when they know that they're going to die with this, because it's kind of crazy. Because I started looking into this, and there are these sites, like there's this IANS, the International Association for Near-Death Studies, and they kind of just have a feed of all
USDA certified.
Yeah, all of these near-death experiences. And it like this top one: dying woman experiences life as a flower and fish while out of body. Girl has 8 NDEs and learns the purpose of suffering on Earth.
Meanwhile,
Jesus.
Hindus are like, bitch, please.
Drowning woman meets Jesus and her unknown biological father. Woman meets Jesus following surgery. It does.
Right.
Say that last one again about spine surgery.
There wasn't anything about spine surgery. It's a woman meets Jesus following surgery. Russian boy drowns and feels all-consuming love. Like, it seems cheesy as fuck, right? But these people are experiencing this. Whether
sounds like near death is one awesome high.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying. And some people, there's a speculation that there's like a release of DMT, because we produce DMT, and it's like some sort of a mechanism to, like a safety mechanism or something like that.
Are we always producing a little bit of DMT, or is it just something that just like hangs out to that last moment of death?
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. But I have heard that is like, okay, it's kind of like a safety net where it's just like to make us feel better or something. I have no idea.
That synthetically?
Ashtray's he's already plotting on what to get.
Right.
So
can I feel the all-consuming love of the universe like I'm going to die? Because every day I want to die.
MDMA, pretty much the same shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Those acronyms all sound similar enough for a naive fucking raver.
Sure.
Yeah. Molly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Molly. Yeah, it's Yeah, I wouldn't. I've had some bad experiences in Maui.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm
That were
sure
not
there's
all
some
good
other
stuff.
shit
all
in
good
Maui.
stories.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
saying,
Right.
I think
You
it's
don't
the
know. It
same
could be
thing
fucking
as
rock salt.
fucking
You know, it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's
right.
terrible. Sometimes it tastes like it.
So some of these
Fuck.
other cases, the more higher profile cases, there's this Anita Murjani, and
Bless
so
you.
she was living in Hong Kong. Yep. And in 2002, Anita was diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and
Hey, and I had
yeah, after 4 years of
Imagine.
struggling with the cancer, Anita's body, riddled with tumors the size of lemons, began to fail.
Jesus.
In February of 2006, she slipped into a coma. Doctors gave her hours to live. As her body lay dying, Anita entered another dimension. In this otherworldly place.
According to who?
According to
Twilight
her.
Zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
she came back.
hold on. Yeah, yeah. They're oh, she's in another dimension.
Look at
She
her.
just-
She's flickering in and out of time.
Right. So in this otherworldly place, Anita experienced profound peace and love. She also learned many things about life and the laws of life, including how she had caused her own cancer.
God
Then she was
damn it,
given given a choice:
Cause your cancer.
stay
Now
on the
get back
other
in there
side
and
or
do it
return to
right.
Earth. After being reassured that her body would heal itself if she returned, Anita chose to return and share with others what she had learned. To the amazement of her doctors, Anita woke up from her coma, and within weeks, her body was fully healed.
She's just throwing those lemon tumors off her. Like, get the fuck out.
And there are other stories like this where people say that they had this near-death experience and they have this terminal cancer, and suddenly the terminal cancer is just, it's gone after they make this miraculous recovery. There's this other guy, this Eben Alexander. He was a neurosurgeon, and he had meningitis. So he picked up meningitis within hours. He was on a ventilator, and they didn't know
That
what
fucking
to,
bow tie. No wonder you need a ventilator.
right. They didn't know what to do. He said, while his body lay in a coma, Alexander journeyed beyond this world and encountered an angelic being who guided him into the deepest realms of super physical existence. There he met and spoke with the divine
The
source
best
of the
kind of
universe
existence.
itself. But the thing is he frickin' woke up and he recovered from this. And these people are claiming that they have like some sort of a guide or whatever, and then they make the recovery. And all these people are having these like super intense experiences. So, I mean, whether you believe,
The thing is,
Yeah.
it comes down to like, even if it was all a dream, a hallucination, like if you experience it, you experience it.
right?
It's like, what else can you say? Like, and all of us, on top of that, you actually recover.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to argue with, like, if you experience that, there's no way you you can't not deny that something happened.
right. Something happened. Now, whether you believe that you actually traveled to another dimension or that
Yeah.
it was a
Or it
dream
was
or
just all in your
whatever,
brain.
right?
It's like, I always think of if I an experiment in how quickly a dream can actually manifest in your brain in real time outside is in a medical study. My friend, she was sleeping on one of these, like a big old airport chair, and it was time to go fucking check in, and I kicked the footrest down, and it makes the backrest come up, and it woke her up, and she flew forward, and she's like, oh my fucking god. She panicked. She's like, I just had this entire dream. We were just driving in this car, dude. Basically like a dream that was like 10 minutes of time. was immediately because I kicked her ass out of the fucking chair
Yeah.
and she hit a tree.
Hmm.
Nonetheless, like your brain on that quick of instant of life between death, you know, when you get CPR or defibrillator and you come back, imagine how long of an experience you could have relative because you're not in real time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whether it be another dimension or if it's just even a hallucination, it's amazing because that hallucination still has to be a neural pattern,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it just doesn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're experiencing it, there's got to be a neural pattern.
Yeah.
So something's going on up there. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of wild. Another interesting theory that I saw in here is that the brain is actually acting as a filter in our waking lives that we have, and when somebody doesn't have to go through that filter anymore, this could explain their experience of being able to process information so fast compared to what they normally would have to.
I was just gonna say that. I actually, so a band teacher, a music teacher one time said something, and it's always stuck with me because I noticed while I was playing that it was easier just close my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, when the brain has less inputs, it's just like a computer when when it's doing less things. If it's occupied with one thing, it's all its processing power is doing that one thing. You know what I mean? Every other thing is involuntary at that moment. My breathing, everything. That brain is using all of that power. That's why in that 10-minute dream that she thought she had took a half a second.
Yeah,
You know
of
what
her
I'm
just
saying?
being flung up.
Like in the time that you die, your brain could be firing. You could fucking live an entire lifetime. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like there was a
fucking
guy,
nuts,
one of these stories that I read, this guy, he did that. He said he lived a life. It's like he said that he lived his life again, but from like like with the perspective that he had. And actually some of these people say that you can, or they embody like other people it's almost like they switch avatars or something. So in this case, this dude like had this incident like in his 30s or something like that, where he beat the shit out of this drunk guy or something. Like he just
he fucking grabbed his balls in a bar. That's
I don't know. He just
ball grabbing.
some altercation where he beat the shit out of him. But when he lived the life again, he was the drunk guy.
Wow.
And like he was like feeling the blows of this, and it all happens in an instant. And the guy said like, yeah, it made me understand that whenever you are physically abusing somebody or something like that, that you're actually inflicting pain on yourself by doing that. And there's a lot of this like one consciousness type thing, or we're all part of this thing.
Unfortunately, yeah, the deeper you dig, the more that kind of leads to that we're more interconnected than we want to admit.
Right.
And the that like how much science is actually starting to show how free will itself is an illusion. Like makes you wonder how, yeah, is our brains, it's just the way we experience time and the whole way our biology experiences it is why everything seems to be the way it is for us. And all our science and progress is actually built upon how we sense ourselves in the world when you boil it down.
Yeah.
Looking at things to measure it, feel it, touch it, and then how it lasts over time. That's how we've built this world around us. And it may all actually be just, I guess, if you want to say, biased towards us. That's why maybe there's aliens around us, and it's like we can't see them because they're just like, fuck these motherfuckers.
We don't believe they exist.
They're stuck in one dimension. Like zipping in and out, like they just pop in just to fuck with us, and then boop.
Yeah. it's a fascinating concept.
And they've never
Go ahead.
had a chance to have wires hooked up to to measure the brainwaves of somebody who had these experiences.
So they only, as far as I know, the one documented case was that old guy that was having the seizures, and the reason why they had it is because he was having the seizures, and then he died after that. There's clearly, University of Virginia, and I imagine there are other places out there. I think they should get on that shit, because
Right.
regardless if you're going to a different dimension or whatever, there's something clearly extraordinary going on with these people's minds, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I mean, if they could tap into that, if they could, like, I think of things
study
like
it while it's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody dies, so there's always a group of people that you can get this stuff from. So just like super interesting type stuff. I am surprised. Like, I think that I think it's good that they're interviewing people and they can kind of like correlate all these different experiences. But yeah, they need to get more measurable stuff, right? More measurable data, as much as you can get anyway. Of
That's
getting,
where you start
like,
to run into that paradox of that. Well, neuroscience is that too. It's like, sure, look at all these brainwave patterns. It's like, how do you even make sense of it?
That's true. That's true.
It's like, sure, it's all measurable material, but like,
yeah, but at one point we didn't know what hieroglyphics meant either.
Mm-hmm.
We figured it out. You have to study it to figure it out.
Well, the thing is, though, hieroglyphics were created by an actual ancient society, whereas the brainwave patterns is just an actual output of what the instrument is measuring. It is now us, like, we're trying to figure out like, how do we actually make sense of these waves, because it is just an instrument's output.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my point.
We'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Well, we better.
You just have to believe.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes you wonder too. It's like,
I've listened to a lot of high neuroscientists out of UW-Madison talk about the issue, where it's like they're getting better and better means of measuring the neural patterns, but at the same time, the scientists are still trying to figure out exactly, like, we can recognize, like, oh, this area, maybe this, but you're still just looking at outputs,
right,
of measurements.
Actually, there was a I can't remember where it is on this. It was like in a Psychology Today or something like that, where these people that suffered from, I don't know if it was like, I don't think it was epilepsy. It was something more.
Was it stiff person syndrome?
Yeah, it was stiff person syndrome.
Stiff person syndrome.
Something really bad where it fucks your brain up super bad, where you can't fucking communicate, and it's a terminal illness. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, what happens sometimes with these people is toward the end of their lives, they get this like spurt of mental energy, and then they're able to do not only what you would expect a normal person to do, but beyond that. Like, it's almost like it's somehow like tapped into that same thing. But going back to like the ancient Egyptian, if we all have this within us, and like what Mystic was talking about with the music teacher closing your eyes when you're playing an instrument, it's almost like
slowly fondled him.
Yeah. Just close your eyes. So
that's what was happening.
That's my rhythm was so good.
But like the ancient Egyptians, like, what if these motherfuckers somehow, were able to tap into that shit, right? And they're building fucking pyramids and stuff. Right. Like, where they're super fucking bypassing the brain. If anybody would be able to figure that shit out, it'd be the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians. I don't know. That's my Ancient Aliens fucking theory or whatever.
Not saying it was aliens, but
It was
But
aliens.
probably it was aliens.
So yeah, I got links on the website. It's just a really it's completely wide open. It's like even though it's been happening and there's tons and tons of documented cases, people kind of don't have an idea of what's going on, and it's really it's challenging what we thought about kind of biological death and where our thoughts actually come from. It can't necessarily, like some people say like, oh, well, it's just like your synapses shutting down. And other people are saying like, well, it kind of seems like this shit is operating with the lights off for a little bit. Or maybe it's operating at such a speed that...
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, it's hard to tell yet what those patterns mean, but also the idea of like, I think as we're starting to learn more that the idea of like, oh, well, that brain's dead, right? Like the fucking patterns are so like weak or whatever. Like that, and then they come back, you know, and it's just like actually more happened there than they realize.
Right.
Like, and it's only because of our like what we think of like when someone's quote unquote brain dead, you know, or vegetative state is gonna always be in flux. The more we can measure brain activity.
Yeah, and we're measuring brain activity, not mind activity. Like we have no way of measuring mind activity, you know, so maybe there's other shit going on. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, and then like because that becomes a subjective thing of like trying to determine what do those patterns mean, that they're actually there's some sort of still, I guess, presence of...
Don't they have technology to where you can actually, instead of you reading the little wavy lines coming out of the screen, don't they have ways they can see what part of the brain is active at certain times?
Yeah.
Well, they can see which way, which region is active.
Yeah, which region is actually
and that can help determine like what parts of the brain are firing. But I think it's too. It's like it's kind of you're having this definition of like, you know, still like consciousness, whether that's still there or not, is kind of, you know, it's a goalpost that gets moved the more we learn.
Yeah. Yeah, the interesting stuff. So
interesting stuff.
If you guys have had near-death experiences or knows of someone, you can go to the University of Virginia, their website. They have like a little questionnaire that you can do, and maybe you can sit down and talk to this creepy old fucking dude.
Every near-death experience I had occurred on a motorcycle. Oh shit!
I had one in the hospital where it was like, but there was no like experience. It was just like I was going to fucking sleep. Then I woke up with all the fucking nurses and doctors around me. There was no fucking light. It would have been peaceful.
Yeah.
Then those fuckers brought me back to life.
Yeah, that's like Hemingway, he said, he's like, when he was describing it, he was like, yeah, well, that's like the easiest thing you could do. You just
let yourself go.
Let yourself go. Like there's nothing to it. So near-death experiences. Check it out. Next up, we've got the What's Sexy portion of the show. First up, we've got Ashtray with Gabriel Promotions.
Trying to get, of course, because on fucking Instagram, I can't get his page up. Anyways, Gabriel Promotions, the guy who promoted the Halloween dance party, has me now for Christmas and New Year's, and I can share pictures if I could get, you know, fucking try and get Instagram on your PC. Too old. Anyways, if you're gonna be in the Madison area, Baldwin Street Grill, come on out.
Boom, boom.
That's all. Bam, bam. No pictures.
Oh, no commercial either.
So does this guy get like a cut out of this or what? Okay.
Yeah, like he does a doesn't cover it. Like he did $10 cover. It's like where it's like I know, like, oh man, like the regulars gonna be all bitchy, like fucking $10.
What is this?
Gabriel Promotions is so he's he's a bartender and a promoter. And he promoted the Halloween dance party we had at Baldwin, but
Was
he's
that his
someone who
bar?
knows how to use Instagram correctly and like gets a whole boatload of people who are not like Baldwin regulars, but like kids who want to go out to the fucking club and dance and had a ball or fucking time. So, anyways, gonna be doing it for Christmas and New Year's, and it's just like after doing a number of years where we just as Baldwin, it's just like yeah, sure, we like share a Facebook post and like the old bar manager, she would do kind of all the decoration stuff. I would show up and do the show, and you know, like sometimes would be hopping, sometimes it's just the regulars. It's kind of we just have fun, but.
Teddy.
Seeing what
Sorry.
actual promotion does, like it's impressive.
Yeah, Teddy, you've seen It's Always Sunny, right?
Yes.
The like very first episode where they get that
Oh,
black dude
Yeah.
to promote, but he's the gay promoter, and they don't
Yeah, he
realize that shit
Yeah,
until
yeah,
later.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're describing. That's what that dude did. He's like,
Yeah,
I'll pack this bar full of fucking young college people, I think he said, or something. And then like it's just all dudes.
Yeah. So
But they did make a shit ton of
it makes a difference when you spend money to do like to pay for the Instagram marketing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And like
right.
you see them, I don't know, you're showing me, it's like, look at this, like thousands of people or whatever have seen
Right.
this ad in this region. It's like, yeah, it's impressive. It fucking works.
Boom, boom.
Goddamn Instagram sluts.
Next up, we have Teddy with Dead Cells DLC.
So Dead Cells, it's a roguelike Metroidvania game. It's going back to its roots. It's they have the DLC coming out.
Fucking trailer, it doesn't happen.
It's fucking on.
What are you talking about? You and your goddamn commercials, man.
It's playing.
I mean, I know it is. I see it, but he's fucking. I want a commercial.
Sorry, I got a longer
Jesus
leg.
Christ. Yeah, they're going back. It's called Return to Castlevania. So you're actually going back to their rendition of Castlevania. So I'm actually, those old games are extremely hard. This game can be difficult. But
That's the kind of games you play, though.
It's fucking blast. And the fact that it's going back to the old school. I mean, when I heard the music in the trailer, the old remix of the original music, just all nostalgia.
Just fucking melted you.
It's extremely, actually, yes. The game is on the PlayStation consoles, the Xbox consoles, on Switch, and on Steam. It's a fun, great game to check it out. So yeah, I can't wait for this DLC to pop out.
Yeah. So Dead Cells has been out for a while now.
It's been out for a while. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna say like 4 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Wait, so Dead Cells is not necessarily a Castlevania game?
It is not. No, it's classified as a Metroidvania type of game. These little side-scrolling things, the Castlevania, Metroid, the little 2D side-scrolling, Castlevania and Metroid kind of created.
Sure. So is the guy with the flaming head the main character you play?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Cool.
Cool game. Check it out.
Right on.
Chickadee check it. And please donate to theredeyereport.com.
Have you guys seen the trailer for that new? I'm sorry, for that new Star Wars game.
Came
out today.
The
Survivor.
What?
Where you're like the last Jedi.
Yeah, you're Cal. Kestis, right?
I don't know. I just
Is that the sequel to Fallen Order?
Again, I don't know. I just saw a trailer for
Yeah,
a dude who
well, thanks for bringing it up, Mr. No Information.
wakes up in the fucking the Jedi Order is gone.
It is the sequel. It's the sequel to Fallen Order. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's a great game. I'm actually.
It is. Yeah.
It looked badass, dude.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't paying for gas.
Game is what it
Fucking
is.
left him.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's a badass game.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I will be playing that for sure. Mystic, where's my jet? What's up?
So this is I don't know if you were a few years younger than me, but you remember that
I
fucking
remember the commercial.
promotion
I
back
do
when
remember
Pepsi
this.
I guess.
points?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that dude, I remember when it happened, and I remember
I
him,
haven't
like,
finished it.
suing him, but I never like got into like what actually happened.
Yeah, I
you
am
know,
watching
like,
this, so don't ruin it
specifically.
for me. I'm on
Okay, I
episode 2.
won't
I'm
specifically
on
say
episode
anything.
2. So.
But yeah, it's fucking funny to just look like. You want to talk about nostalgia for me? Like that was, dude. I was hardcore into the Pepsi points.
Oh yeah, the CD binders. I got a lot of
Crystal Pepsi and shit.
So,
tasted like shit, but you got a lot of points out of it because I knew it tasted like shit.
did
They were trying
you?
to sell it.
So did you? What did you get? What types of
I don't
items
even
did you?
remember, dude. I don't even remember because it wasn't even about like getting the shit. It was about like fucking like I don't know, like collecting it. Like I wanted to
points.
be
Right.
yeah, I wanted to fucking just I wanted to collect the points. And when I heard like that there was a dude actually trying to get the jet, that's like fucking yeah. But then I quickly forgot about it because life. But it's great to go back and see it, man. And
I remember getting a CD case at least. I can't remember what other prizes there were.
I think I had the CD case because it was like a 10 CD flip, like zipper case.
Yeah, right? Blue.
Yep. I had that. I think I had a binder too.
I'm surprised.
Like a water bottle, like with a straw, like that you would get at like Six Flags. I'm pretty sure I had one of those.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm surprised that more companies don't do this type of thing.
I wonder if there's been changes
in the
laws.
documentary, dude. Like they failed twice at these. Pepsi has. Like they failed
in the sense that they lose money or what?
I don't want to say anything because they had this. I don't know if Teddy's gotten there yet, but they had a promotion in like Thailand that really fucked.
No, I haven't gotten there yet. No,
they failed hardcore. Like you want to talk about this jet being fucked up? That was a fucking clusterfuck, and it's incredible to see. Like Michael Avenatti, the dude who like
yeah, I thought that looked like him.
Yeah, he was the fucking Stormy Daniels lawyer and shit. The guy who just got sentenced to 14 years in prison. Yeah. He's a piece of shit. But anyway, he got involved in it and shit. And he's a scumbag, but he had fucking Pepsi on the ropes for real.
Oh, so he was on the side of holding Pepsi accountable.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's a fucking fun little nostalgia trip.
It is, yeah.
Check it out.
Scumbag.
Speaking of scumbags, me, early twirly. So it couldn't get enough done at night, so I've decided to wake up earlier and earlier. Now I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What the?
Damn, buddy. What time do you make it sure you're going to bed then?
Well,
no.
I try to get to bed like around 9. So I'm way past my bed.
Not going to work tonight, huh?
Not going to work tonight. But, it's I'm definitely the most productive in the morning. And I've got fucking papers to write. I got shit to do. I got to go in early, blah, blah, blah. And I would rather do that, wake up early and do that, than have to do that shit at night because I feel like dog shit
after work.
Yeah. Like I just want to play games or something or fucking watch TV. I feel like I don't get a chance to do that.
Deflate.
So, right. So I guess I'm just turning into an old man now. Gonna start.
Calm down, Grandpa.
I mean, it's just what a lot of them do it.
Yep.
I still get up at noon.
Man, I wish I'd get up at noon.
Dude, my wife does that and it drives me nuts.
I do on the weekends, especially after like a gig.
All right. Now we're moving on to Fuck What You Think, where we take a wire crimper and crimp off the end of your penis.
Damn.
See, now you're getting a little bit too crazy.
That's right. One at a time. Don't all rush up and get in line.
Oil changes for everybody.
So first up, we have me with interplanetary workplaces or workspaces. So I work in IT, and in this IT environment, we have to install these printers for this new software thing, which is fine. Whatever, not a big deal. Probably takes about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes for us to get everything programmed up and get it out there. Well, we have this spreadsheet that is supposed to reflect all of the printers that are going out and have all the information. And I started working on this project, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck? Like, this isn't matching up with what we have.
Where are these printers that are in this spreadsheet?
Right. And also, these departments don't have this, or this isn't labeled right. And then they're like, oh, well, there's this old spreadsheet too. This is from another project. And that one was like 75% right. And
so basically it's just like an old fucking data set of, well, this is where all the printers are.
Two wrong data sets. And come to find out, I'm like, what the fuck? How is this so fucked up? Because basically what it would be, in order to get an accurate count, go and know what needed to go where, go into each department and say, hey, where are your old printers that we are replacing? And then writing those names down and then making sure that you have one for each one of those. Well, it turns out that this spreadsheet was made by people that were not even on site. They're working from home.
Oh, what?
It's so fucking absurd.
They're just guesstimating?
Yes,
So like, oh,
they were. Why the fuck would you do that?
We need an accurate-ish count.
Right. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's like, you don't live on the moon.
Amateurs.
You're gonna be okay. Just fucking bring your ass in and look at it.
So your project is to update these lists?
No, our project is to get these printers out, and we're just like, hey, because they're just like,
so who maintains the list? I guess
not us. And right,
I thought you're IT.
Yeah, and we did not make the list. If we made the list, it would be fucking accurate.
Well, my point being though is it's a list of like what department has what tech, correct?
Yes, and
who better
than us? Yeah. And it wasn't us that made this, and it's absurd.
This is where we realize it's like you guys need to make your own roadmap.
It's fucking absurd, and it's just like
You guys, you do the entire hospital too, St. Joseph's Hospital, or just the clinic?
No, just the clinic.
Well, that's still big enough.
Oh yeah. Trust me.
You know what I mean? Like that,
it's big enough.
That's a lot of fucking printers.
It's a lot of shit, and it's such a clusterfuck, and it's just like, this could have been avoided if there was a person that was running this thing and the data, and they made sure that either they came in or they sent somebody else in or they fucking asked us if this stuff was accurate until after the fact. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I guarantee the person that's running this thing lives in this town. Why the fuck are you trying to do this over?
That is fascinating. Occupational communication is a fascinating subject because, like, all it takes is one person to be incompetent in a workplace. Literally one person.
Right.
And it affects every single fucking person in that building.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it could be as simple as the fucking backup whatever, some jack off that fucking... But it's just like because of the way communication will eventually break down, it affects everybody. It's fucking crazy.
But I have a theory that this would not have happened 4 years ago, before this COVID.
Before COVID?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Because
they would all been on
some
site.
of these senior positions are still working remotely?
Oh yeah, tons of people. And it's like, it doesn't, it's like they have gotten into this mentality of like, oh, well.
In Marshfield too?
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
It's
these
crazy.
Are other
a
people,
medical facility. You're gonna have to wear
Yeah.
a mask anyway. Like,
are
what the
these
fuck?
people other senior members of the IT department that are working remotely still?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
adjacent. So my job, we're on site. Like we are absolutely on
You
site.
can only get shit done on site. Man, that
Exactly.
remote shit is
And
fucking
Right.
jerk off.
That's the thing. And there's this mentality of like, oh, well, I can't come in. It's like, this would be so much easier.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be fucking around with this if you just fucking came in
Yeah.
Right.
and looked at it.
Yeah, but they've been able to do their jobs for the past 2 years
And
at
how
home,
can-
and they're loving it.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous.
All I'm hearing
They're
about people
milking
coming back
that
to the
shit.
office is how much it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved it too. I ain't gonna lie. I loved working from home when I worked at Fox.
Oh, yeah.
I'd get up and fucking sit at my kitchen table and edit fucking shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But
It's not as effective.
No, you have to go through so much more bullshit, and it's 10
Mhm.
times slower.
Right.
You don't really know what's going on because you're not there.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
like
so,
you just have like some peripheral chat or email
Yeah.
conversation that like or you then just like call your boss or whatever. What's going on? But it's not
Plus,
effective.
like I feel like humans need to have something away from the house. You can't
Yes.
Right.
always be fucking.
Oh man.
Well, it's not,
Yeah, I gotta get up and
get
everybody
out of
feels
the
that way,
family.
but there's a lot of people who are perfectly fine with
Yeah, I guess there
I
are.
don't know.
But I have to
not having to
be
put up with
away.
the bullshit at the office. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's a
Yeah, I guess.
It makes a huge difference though that like you said, Mystic, to get out and move around the house.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, I still get more work done in the shop than I would from home.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, I remember my wife and her coworkers. They were having after work. They would hop in a separate like Skype call and have happy hour together, and they'd all be sitting there drinking and shit. I'm like,
Skype?
yeah. It's like we're having happy hour. And I'm like, yo,
Nah, shit, ain't much difference than us. We just broadcast it.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, right.
Fucking Red Eye Reporters are happy hour for the week. Cheers,
That's true.
buddies.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Mystic with "Fuck Your Concert, You Old Bitches."
Yeah,
Old
old
snatches.
bitches. Fuck, so I go look at Metallica and Pantera tickets
Oh, they're like $1,000
at
a piece.
Soldier
What?
Field. Yeah. Metallica, Pantera, Soldier Field, August something next year.
Mhm.
I think it was August. Maybe it was April something. So it was $90 for nosebleed for
Mhm.
like 400 level at Soldier Field, which is the fourth balcony,
Yeah.
like obstructed view. It's $90 before fees.
It's gonna be
Before
like
fees.
$150.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
lowest that you're gonna. You're talking 150 probably
Yeah.
per ticket. And then like if you wanted something decent, you're talking $400,
Wow.
300 to 400 for like down fucking, with a good view. And granted, Metallica, their stage is a circle. So you could see everything. You know what I mean? It rotates, fucking it's theatrics. So it would be
Yeah.
a cool show, but there's no fucking way I'm paying that much to see basically 1/4 of Pantera
Yeah.
and fucking an old ass Metallica. Are you fucking kidding me? Like Rex Brown I know he was part of Pantera, but like who the fuck knows who he even is? You know what I mean? Phil Anselmo, in my opinion, is the only surviving member of that band. And then they just got fucking Zach Wilde and some old ass dude from fucking Anthrax, and let's have a reunion. Get the fuck out of here! It's not the same.
Hey man, look, heroin and cocaine are not cheap at that age. Okay,
It's a
need
money
some
grab, yeah.
and they're totally just grabbing on to fucking to the ball to
They're
the
milking
old
that
saggy
fucking
balls of
nostalgia
Pantera.
shit.
Yeah, to get some of that money.
And that's fine. But I'm not
What we
gonna
do
pay.
nowadays.
Right.
I've already seen Pantera 3 times. I'm fine.
Because the crystals of something new and unique. Further
I
and
saw
further
all of
between.
Pantera, not just 1/4. Sorry,
Way to
Rex.
go.
We love you, but we all know Dime was the real
I don't love you. I don't know who you are.
talent.
All right. Next up, we have Ashtray for Ashtray's celebrity ass rag report.
Oh yeah, I figured.
You're
Because
not,
every
you're
once
not
in a while,
gonna put your own little section in here and go for like
It's-
45 minutes. It's not happening.
no, it ain't gonna be 45
Get-
minutes.
get
But
to the
this is
fucking
just fucking one of these celebrity stories where like I had to take a screenshot because like just look how man her fucking PR company. Look how many fucking news publications pushed this story.
I think this is kind of based off of your search history.
Yeah.
This was
yes,
like
yes, it is.
if you click on Google News, like a news story, and then you do like full coverage, like, and you see how many headlines from other news sources. The fucking Jerusalem Post. Oh man, she canceled her Israeli concert amid her neurological illness disease. Okay, she's got this new rare disease. It's
Are
called.
you just really upset you can't see Celine Dion now? Is that where this is all coming from?
Right?
Yes.
Like what? What's
Is that is that
No,
what's
it is
coming
called
Why are
stiff
you all over
person syndrome.
Celine Dion?
from? I mean, really?
Stiff person syndrome.
She's a fucking Canadian treasure.
Have you
dude.
seen her lately? No wonder she's stiff faced. She had so much plastic surgery. Of course,
Well,
she's got stiff person
So
syndrome.
what the hell is stiff person
Yeah,
syndrome?
It's some disease that's supposedly rare, but I'm sure it's. I mean, doesn't help.
Okay, whoa.
When you have that much
Explain
Botox.
anything.
Even take the time to look up and see.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is
Before you
that's
started
why
talking
Yeah,
I'm
you
celebrity
son of
ass
a
rag.
bitch.
All we're gonna do is we're gonna
Fucking
rag
Christ.
on these celebrities.
No, we're not ragging on celebrities. You are.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We, in the sense of the Reddit
Oh,
report.
the
All right,
royal
let's
we.
look it
My
up.
section.
What is stiff person syndrome? Stiff person syndrome is a central nervous system disorder that causes progressive muscle stiffness and spasms.
Yeah,
I
look
guess
at
you
her
just get
face.
fucking stiff.
That name is dead on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
There is no cure.
Celine
for
Dion, are you
stiff person
surprised?
Isn't that just
I
getting
didn't-
old?
I am. I am
God bless
surprised.
her.
I didn't
Yeah, I know.
know
She's getting old, and she's had a lot of plastic surgery. Like, of course, you're gonna have a stiff person
Just
syndrome.
kidding.
Look at her face. Seriously, look at those pictures.
Look at her fucking face. Look at her fucking face.
Don't you
Just look
fucking?
at her face.
She's a Canadian treasure. Stop it.
All right, you're right. That's all.
Okay, that is all. Finally,
For the ass rag report.
finally, Teddy, worst WNBA trade ever.
So Brittany Griner's coming home. I think she might be home by now. I don't know.
She is.
Worst trade ever. They traded her for the
worst trade
trade
ever. Right?
What's the Simpsons guy? Worst trade ever.
Like we traded
Is that
Isaiah
misogyny
Thomas
report?
from the NBA for Brittany Griner from the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a lot more
Yeah, they did.
out of it.
And my thing is, look, I was sorry she was in jail, but I travel a lot, and one thing I do not do is I do not take drugs in or out of a fucking country.
Right?
I don't care. I don't care.
Russia.
I don't care what kind of
Yeah,
drug it is. I don't
Russia.
care if it's
Especially
fucking
Russia.
it's in cartridges or
It
whatever.
isn't like you were in Switzerland.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Even like England or some shit.
Yeah.
And you know, she's like, "Oh, I better get out of here because
Times.
shit's getting real." Like, it was right when they invaded too, was it not?
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It was, yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
believe
she's
I believe
kind of, "Oh
she's
shit, I better get out of here."
No, I believe she's been doing it for a while, and fucking, and she was just going home, and they fucking
Yeah.
knew she had him, so they were like, "Hey, fucking, you know,
Yep.
and get her back."
Oh, they were probably tracking her ass the whole time.
Oh, I bet, yeah. All
But
like anyone of some notable,
Right.
foreign
Well,
person.
there's a lot of them that play.
And also-
too.
Also, they got America got her off for 9 years from another country. There's a bunch of brothers over here locked up for simple possession.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, why
and
isn't
they're
Russia
gonna-
trying to trade for them?
Yep.
I know, right?
Fucking,
I
they'd have a lot less people in
it's fucked up.
prison if Russia
Bad,
had better
bad fucking
trades.
Rush. We can have a lot less people in prison if Russia was just better at trading.
Yeah.
Blame our prison
That's
problem on
economics.
We'll throw in 7,500 other guys. You just throw them in prison.
Yeah, we deal in bulk in the American prison
Right.
system.
We do. We killing both.
We got to move these prisoners, Putin.
Come on, Russia.
All right, in all seriousness, go fuck yourself, honeycomb crackhead. That's our show. We're going to be here every Wednesday or Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. You can't twiddle us, like us, share us, or fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm Ashtray's butthole getting ravaged by a monkeypox-infested meat mallet.
Jesus, you actually read it, huh?
I am the who had that butthole.
I'm Mystic.
And I am Teddy. I am Teddy.
And this is the Red Eye Report.
Yes.
I'm Teddy.
Where are we?
Cry a little bit there.